I'm a city boy born and bred, but for my latest adventure, I'm heading into the countryside of northern England. Looks pretty desolate, doesn't it, with this heather-covered land spreading in every direction. My journey's taking me from the west coast of Cumbria, nearly 200 miles east to Robin Hood's Bay on the North Yorkshire coast. Oh, there he is! Oh man, that was so good! As I cross this spectacular countryside, it's such a beautiful landscape. It's almost manicured. I'm meeting the people
Cheers, you've got health.
who live and work here.
There you go, you're a natural.
I was born for this. Any more fares? Wow!
Shut the valve off.
I can't do it, it won't go. Oh my God, I panicked. This week I'm in the Lake District, England's largest national park, discovering the turbulent history behind the hills and mountains. It's the perfect example of the ripping and yanking about that this landscape has undergone. There we go. Rolling my sleeves up to cook a regional speciality. How many different chutneys do you do?
Probably about 140 we do normally.
And I'm on the lookout for a rare British beauty.
Is that one there?
Yeah.
Well spotted.
I'm 30 miles into my coast-to-coast adventure. At nearly 200 miles long, my route takes me across the north of England through 3 national parks. Ahead of me lie the Yorkshire Dales and North Yorkshire Moors. But for the second part of my journey, I'm setting off from the Borrowdale Valley in the heart of the Lake District National Park, travelling east across the landscape and ending in the remote village of Shap. During the summer, thousands upon thousands of people come here to yomp across the fells and enjoy the lakes, and it's easy to see why. But I want to delve a little deeper and find out more about the people who work this land and this water. So I've decided to stay away from the more well-known places like Coniston and Windermere and start in Borrowdale. The Borrowdale Valley runs for 10 miles, from the high fells to the shores of Derwentwater. The land has been worked by farmers for over 1,000 years. They've shaped a landscape of stone walls and green pastures for sheep. 80% of Borrowdale is owned by the National Trust, with land leased to farmers. I've come to Yew Tree Farm to meet Johnny Bland, whose family has been looking after these fells for generations.
All right? Yep. Come on, Doug.
These upland hills of Borrowdale are a challenge to farm and only suitable for sheep, which isn't for everyone. Locals are selling up and leaving the area. 60% of the houses in the valley are no longer the homes of people working the land. Instead, they're holiday cottages. Johnny is one of the few remaining farmers left in Borrowdale. With a flock of 2,500 sheep, he and his family are determined to keep working his farm. How much land have you got?
It'll be about 1,200 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite a big lump.
And is that all grazed by sheep?
All grazed by sheep, yeah. It's, you know, we get long winters here and it's only fit for sheep, really, so...
What is it that we're going to do today?
We're just going to gather some ewes with lambs up. They're ready for shearing.
Well, they're not 2,500 there.
No, we'll go out on the mountains and gather a certain section and bring them down in maybe 50s.
Johnny's flock are all herdwicks, first introduced to the fells by the Vikings. They're the hardiest of all Britain's hill sheep, capable of surviving at heights of 3,000 feet. They've got extra thick, tough, woolly coats to protect them from the wind and rain, and sturdy, thick-set bones to walk the rocky fells. Why are the little ones dark brown and the others aren't?
So lambs are born jet black.
Yeah.
And after about 3 months, the faces start to go white and the legs go white. And then when they get to about 6 months old, they take on a brown coat. And until they're sheared, they keep that brown coat, and then the various shades of grey after that.
They look great together, don't they?
Yeah.
Rounding up the sheep is a huge task, only made possible by Johnny's team of 7 sheepdogs, 2 of which are with us today. What are they called, these 2?
That's Jed and this is Gil.
Gil.
It has to be something that's easy to shout and short.
Of course, yeah.
You don't want a great long fancy name or it would, you know, you wouldn't be able to shout it over and over.
After a 20-minute hike up the hillside, we finally come across more of Johnny's herdwicks.
Right, we can see them now. We're going to put dogs around sheep. Come on, dogs. Jed, Gil, come on, get it out, lads. Get it out. Get back, Jed, get back. Ho, Gil, ho, Gil, ho, Gil, ho, Gil, ho. Betcha, lad, betcha.
In a matter of minutes, a whole herd of them emerged. Well, that was efficient. I thought it was going to take some 40 minutes.
Oh, no, we want to get them in and down and sheared, so we like to get on with it.
Johnny may be keen to get on with it, but I can't help taking a moment to enjoy the spectacular views. It's such a beautiful landscape, isn't it? It's almost manicured. How much of that's down to the sheep?
Well, it's all down to the sheep and the farmers. If there was no sheep, it would all just become overgrown and just a wilderness, really. And if that's what you want, well, that's what you want. But I think the Lake District looks good as it is now. It's a special place and it needs looking after.
Without the sheep grazing the pasture, the grassland would be overtaken by scrub and coarse vegetation, which is why the herdwick sheep have been described as the guardians of the fell. The sheep need to be shorn in the summer months to stop their woolly coats getting infested with maggots. Vast fortunes were made from wool. During the Industrial Revolution, the north of England was at the forefront of the textile industry with its huge mechanised mills, making it one of the wealthiest parts of the world.
Jed, come on, Jed.
Those days are long gone. Due to cheap imports and synthetic fabrics, most farmers only make money from meat sales. Shearing is now just about looking after the sheep.
Right, you betches one cam.
Johnny shears every one of his 2,500 sheep himself.
Yeah. Haircut time.
How much do you get for each fleece?
Well, this fleece here will be worth about 25 pence.
25 pence for a whole fleece?
If I was getting a shear in to shear the sheep, cost me a pound a sheep to get them sheared.
So if you didn't do it yourself, you'd lose 75p on each one?
That's each sheep, yes.
It would be just as cheap for you to dump it, really, wouldn't it?
It'd be cheaper to burn it, and farmers have burnt it, like, but it just makes a mess, and if the job's worth doing, it's worth doing, isn't it? But
Johnny's the 4th generation of his family to farm these hills, and their future's dependent on the next generation. Eldest son Cameron regularly helps out. Do you fancy being a farmer?
Yeah, I want to be a farmer.
Even though you only get 25p for a fleece?
Yeah, but it has to be done.
Yeah, sure.
There's other ways of making money off sheep.
You don't fancy going down to London or Birmingham or Manchester instead?
No. Like torch having to work in an office or something.
that's it. It is a tough job. You've got to want to do it, or you just won't stick to it, like, 'cause it's 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
It looks so idyllic right now, doesn't it?
Yeah. You imagine winter, freezing cold, dark, rain and snow, getting sheep in off fells. It's all graft, like, but we love it. It's not work, it's just something we do. Obviously, we need money, but that isn't the driving force, like.
Johnny and his family make what money they can from farming, but they're also fully aware of their roles as custodians of this magnificent countryside, ensuring it's maintained for future generations. I think it's brilliant that a young man like Cameron doesn't want to leave here, but is prepared to devote his whole life to this place. My coast-to-coast adventure in the north of England stretches from west to east. I'm in the Lake District, and from Yew Tree Farm, I've travelled to the northern tip of the valley to Derwentwater, 3 miles long and a mile wide. It's the Lake District's third largest lake and home to 4 islands. Hidden away on the largest is one of the area's most magnificent houses. Nestled in 7 acres is Derwent Island House. Owned by the National Trust, to help preserve the property, they lease it out to private residents. Today, I'm getting an exclusive tour, courtesy of current tenants Ron and Lou Clark. Looking forward to this. Shall I sit on here?
Yeah, if you sit this side and then we'll be a bit more balanced.
Okay. Ron and Lou recently sold their IT business and have a passion for living in and renovating old properties, although this is by far the biggest and the only one they haven't owned. Not a bad view, Ron.
Yeah, we've become used to it though, in a way. So it's great when people new come to the island and remind us how actually great it is.
But this view doesn't come cheap. The rent on Derwent Island House is £40,000 a year. Why did you decide to move here?
Our kids had grown up and went to university. Our original plan was to go to Spain. And then this came up and we thought, well, we can still go to Spain at any time, but
Sure.
How often do you get the opportunity to come and live in a National Trust house on an island in the middle of the Lake District?
If anybody came to the island and had the opportunity, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And I think if you're not fazed by boats or water or anything like that, coming over and back and forth on the boat just becomes part of the norm.
People have been hopping back and forth since medieval times. The island was once owned by monks, later becoming the property of the monarchy. In the 16th century, it was occupied by German miners who built a camp on the island, grew vegetables, kept animals, and brewed beer. Today, this is the only inhabited island on Derwentwater, and the house is a Grade 2 listed 9-bedroom mansion. Presumably the house is 19th century.
This dates back to the 1776.
Oh,
yeah?
really? As early as that?
So it was
Doesn't
around,
look like it, does it?
It was around about the time of the American War of Independence.
Yeah.
And so if we look at the 2 big bays,
Yeah.
that forms the original house that was built by a banker from Newark.
Oh, and so the Victorians stuck on the 2 bits on the outside.
So the Victorians put the extension to the right and the extension to the left,
Yeah.
and that was done by the Marshall family in the 1850s.
The Marshalls, wealthy flax spinners from Yorkshire, gave the property to the National Trust in 1951, and it's been rented out for the last 60 years.
We've got a long-term lease from the Trust, which means that we've got the effectively 10 years, which allows us then to invest in a house because we'll benefit from that. So it's not a short-term thing.
So you've been doing renovations?
Yep, we've put a lot of effort into that, haven't we, for the last 2 years. So in some ways, we haven't even had a chance ourselves to enjoy it, really, because we've been very busy on working on the house.
It has 26 rooms, and when Ron and Lou moved in, only 5 of them had been done up. The rest were in a pretty bad state and required a good going over. Their pride and joy is their recently refurbished kitchen. Oh, what a fantastic kitchen. This is extraordinary. Did you guys put this in?
Absolutely, yeah. So what we've done is put in the new ceiling, put all the units in. This is all local slate from the mine that is just up at the end of the valley there.
Oh, this is beautiful, this slate. Gorgeous. The newly decorated rooms need to be sympathetic to the style of the house. And of course, the lake is a logistical challenge. Lou, how did they get all the building materials in and everything else that was needed to make this place look so lovely?
Just on the same boat that you came over.
That tiny little boat.
All the units were bespoke and then they just moved it all over piece by piece on the boat.
The slates were quite a challenge, because not only have we got to get it from the jetties onto the boat, off the boat onto the jetties, but also get it up to the house.
You've put all this investment in, all this time and trouble, and yet you may only be able to be here for 10 years. Why do you do it?
The house deserves it. So in a way, it's a spectacular location, and the house itself is quite a spectacular place. And we felt it was very almost sad that, apart from the showrooms, the rest of the house was a bit like a 2-star bed and breakfast.
Derwent House is one of 5,000 houses and cottages the National Trust leases out. Tenants have to pay for the upkeep and for any refurbishment, but they can't do whatever they like. Every change, no matter how small, has to be signed off. Supervising the work Ron and Lou are doing on the house is Tom Burdett. They've done quite significant renovations, haven't they? Do they have to do that, or are they doing it because they want to?
No, they don't have to, but they sort of chose, really, that was something that they wanted to take on. I mean, they do have a great love for the building, and they look for a little bit of guidance from us in terms of what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
Things like the colour of the paint, you know, it has to be a particular colour. I remember a discussion about the radiators as well, which kind of, you know, they need to be the kind of Victorian radiators. But everything is a bit of a negotiation because we need them living here, you know, keeping it in, you know, with the right kind of temperature and things like that, you know, making sure that, you know, it's not leaking and falling apart. So we do try hard to make sure that it's advice that we're giving them rather than necessarily instructions.
Maintaining and renovating a house like this isn't for the poor or faint-hearted, but the results speak for themselves. By getting Ron and Lou to come here and invest their money and their time and their love in this place, well, that seems to be a pretty good model for conservation. The Lake District is the most mountainous part of England, with 100 peaks towering over 2,000 feet and 16 plunging lakes. This is England at its most dramatic. But as so often happens here in the lakes, what starts as a clear day soon makes way for a dramatic decline in the weather. Geologist Yanni Najman, a specialist in how mountain belts form, has joined me for the 1,000-foot hike up Laffrygg Fell. We should have had an incredible bird's-eye view, but the clouds dropped and it was now pouring with rain. What created this extraordinary swirl that we call the Lake District?
We're actually in a collision zone where millions of years ago there used to be 2 continents that were apart, and they were separated by a huge ocean called the Iapetus Ocean. As the 2 continents started to come together, eventually they collided and you got this massive mountain range which would have looked like the Himalayas do today, so really high, and then over time it's eroded down.
It's mind-blowing to think these hills are older than the Himalayas, formed some 400 million years ago. But the colliding continents weren't the only violent event in this landscape's evolution. What about the lakes? They weren't formed from that kind of activity, were they?
No, it wasn't till about 2 million years ago the land started to become part of an ice age, and then we've got a lot of glaciers. And as the glaciers came through, they gouged out basins, and then when they retreated, it gets filled in with water.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? It's covered in greenery now, but at one time, Armageddon was going on right where we're sitting. All this seismic activity has left a 2,000-ton landmark. This is the Bowder Stone, and it's been a tourist attraction since the 18th century, people coming here to marvel at the extraordinary fact that you've got this massive great rock here, supported only by this tiny bit at the bottom. How could that possibly be? Well, some people think that in the Ice Age there would have been ice there and ice over there, and it melted and just left the stone there like that. Other people think that there would have been a volcano right up there 450 million years ago or so, and it exploded and threw up this great rock which hurtled down and just got stuck. But whatever caused it, it's the perfect example of the ripping and tearing and gouging and yanking about that this landscape has undergone over the last few millennia. Afternoon. Next on my coast-to-coast journey across the Lake District, I discover the last vestiges of the Industrial Revolution.
Lady of the Lake was 1877. So
and she's still going today?
Yes, she's here.
Hello. I'm on my coast-to-coast adventure, travelling across the breadth of northern England. I'm taking my time, getting a feel for the people, the places and the history of the area. From the Bowder Stone in Borrowdale, I've come about 10 miles south and I'm passing through the epicentre of tourism in the Lake District, Grasmere. The village teems with visitors throughout the whole year. They come to admire the scenery that inspired one of Britain's best-loved poets. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er dales and hills, and all at once I saw a crowd of Japanese tourists, Chinese tourists, Australian tourists, British tourists. This is Grasmere, where Wordsworth wrote daffodils, William Taylor Coleridge wrote some of his crazy psychedelic poetry, Turner painted here, Shelley was here. They were the first tourists. They came here to escape humdrum life and re-engage with nature. And by doing so, they kick-started an industry that now employs thousands of local people. Over 16 million tourists visit the lakes, and they spend £1.2 billion every year, providing the main source of income for the economy. But in 2001, the foot and mouth outbreak had a devastating effect on rural business, and Cumbria was the worst affected area in the country. I've come south of Grasmere to the village of Hawkshead to meet Mark and Maria Whitehead, whose business was shattered overnight. Maria, you got this lovely little tea shop in a great location. Business was doing really well.
Yes, yeah.
Then what happened?
We heard that foot and mouth had been found and people were being advised not to go to the countryside. We carried on and opened the cafe the following morning, and we didn't have a single customer that day, and we didn't have a customer the next day or the next day. And very, very quickly we realised that this was going to have a really massive impact on us.
The bank rang up and said, "Is everything all right?" And we said, "No." And they said, "Have you got a plan?" And we thought about using the facilities we had. We had a kitchen, we had staff, we already made some bits of chutney to serve with the meals that we sold in the cafe. So we thought, well, we'll go for it and see what we can do.
They closed down their cafe and instead used the premises to make Artisan chutneys.
We used to make something like 11.5 jars at a time, and we just made it in a pan, same as you would do at home, an open pan on the top of the stove, and that's pretty much how things have stayed, really. It's just the pans have got a lot bigger.
Business went from strength to strength. They now employ 25 people, supply over 500 shops and export to 35 countries. Today, production takes place at this restored 16th century barn on the edge of Esthwaite Water. I'm donning an outfit and learning how to cook chutney. Mark, I'm kitted up.
Right, Tony, what we're going to make is our famous Westmoreland chutney here.
I have never seen so much chutney congregated in one space.
This is going to be 350 litres, so about 900 jars worth.
So what have we got in?
We've got onions and vinegar and a little bit of sugar in there, and we're going to put the rest of it in.
Mark and Maria's business now produces over 500,000 jars a year, from beetroot and horseradish to Windermere Pale Ale jelly, and it's all made by hand. How many different chutneys do you do?
Well, with jams and chutneys and mustards and a few other bits and pieces, probably about 140 we do normally. but then have another repertoire of about another 270 that we can make to order.
They slice their way through a colossal 20 tonnes of onions a year. Mark tries to use locally grown produce, although some of the ingredients are definitely not from round this way.
I can see tropical fruit there.
Well, unfortunately, as you found with the weather in the Lake District, it's not always the best, and some of the exotics we just can't get here.
Yep.
However, we do always try and buy them through local suppliers wherever possible.
Cumbria has a long tradition of using spices and exotic fruits in cooking. In the 18th century, ships from the West Indies, Asia and Africa unloaded their produce in the nearby West Coast ports. Inspired by these ingredients, Mark's developed a smorgasbord of new recipes.
What's the difference between, say, this all goes in here, yeah?
Yeah.
Between a chutney, a pickle and a relish?
Well, they're all basically the same thing. They come from different languages, though. There's your apricot.
So chutney is what?
Chutney is Hindi.
Yeah.
Relish, we think that might be German.
Yeah.
And then pickle comes from...
That's German or Dutch, whatever, isn't it? Yeah.
It's either Low German or Dutch, depending
Yeah.
on who you talk to.
Is that all the ingredients in there now?
No, we've got this to put in as well, Tony.
All this lot?
Yep. Take the last bit out.
I'll give it a bit of a stir, do you think?
You can do, yeah. Right. I think your muscles need to be exercised a bit more.
When making this recipe alone, in a year they get through 13 tonnes of Demerara sugar, 5 tonnes of apricots and dates, and 2 tonnes of prunes. Despite the huge quantities, the chutneys still handmade in their tried and tested fashion.
Have you got plans to do a massive extension and eventually cover half the lakelands?
No, not really. We're quite happy the way we are. We've still got scope to make a bit more product yet. We like to go home at night and have a glass of wine and think, we've had a good day, we've made really good products, and that's what makes us happy. No desire to retire to the Caribbean just yet.
Our chutney needs to cool for 5 hours, so conveniently, here's some they made earlier.
Oh, look at that chutney. Look at it go.
Next, we need to fill the jars, and Alison, head of depositing, is showing me the ropes.
So what happens next?
You plonk yourself down on here.
Yeah.
This is a foot pump. And it just comes out like that.
Alison, can I have a go?
You certainly can.
How many is the most jars that you've filled up and put the lids on in one day?
5,311.
Not at this rate. There we are, we're full up. Now the lids.
Every single lid is screwed on by hand. The labelling is the only process that's fully mechanised.
And then into the warehouse.
And then into the warehouse. You all right? That's it.
Back at the shop, it's time to sample the finished product.
So this is one that's been matured a bit longer. The one that you've made today needs to have a good few weeks in the jar to mature.
Just need a nice piece of cheese to go with it, don't we?
Oh, it's very good, isn't it? Very good. Yeah.
We call it unctuous. It's just rounded flavour.
Unctuous.
Unctuous.
It's unctuous.
With a rucksack weighed down with chutney, I'm back on the road. And from Hawkshead, I've come 20 miles north to one of the most spectacular of British lakes, Ullswater. At 9 miles long, this is the second largest lake in the national park.
Afternoon.
Towards Towards the south of the lake at Glenridding is the home of Ullswater steamers. These elegant boats have plied the lake for over 150 years and have played an integral part in the industrial heritage of the area. I'm on board with Captain Christian Grammer.
Why are there all these old boats on Ullswater? Is it just a bit of a touristy gimmick?
No, not at all. They were put here for a purpose well over 100 years ago because there was a very, very successful lead mine in the village which produced some of the finest silver in Europe, and miners would come from Germany and various other places to mine there. So, you know, provisions for the mines, pit props, you know, lead ore would go up the lake the other way, up towards Pooley Bridge.
In the late 17th century, lead ore was discovered near Glenridding village, just south of Ullswater. It became the largest lead mine in the Lake District, and by the 1850s had over 300 employees. As the roads then were little more than tracks, workers, materials and the Royal Mail were transported across the lake by boat. But towards the end of the century, with tourism on the increase, the boats were converted to ferry tourists. And this change was driven by the founder of Package Holidays.
Thomas Cook, who we're all aware of, used to bring people up from London and he would put them on the boats to see the lake and then transport them back by steam train to London again. There was actually pressure from Thomas Cook that encouraged the company to build their next bigger steamer.
Thanks to good sailing conditions and its closeness to shooting estates, Ullswater was also hugely popular with the royals. In 1912, one of the steamers was made a temporary royal yacht to mark the visit of the German Kaiser, Wilhelm II. That same boat, called Raven, is still part of the small fleet that sails these waters today.
Do you call them boats or ships?
We call them vessels,
Okay.
but we do call them boats, yes. I don't think they're quite ships.
How old is this vessel?
1949 she was built originally down on the south coast, and she came up here in the mid-2000s, but also we've got Lady of the Lake was 1877. She's riveted wrought iron, she's not even steel. So,
And she's still going today?
Yes, she's here.
Oh, there's still one over here?
Yes, she's on her way down past us now. Only difference really is she's not steam powered anymore. She's got modern economical diesels, and she'll carry 200 passengers up and down the lake quite cleanly because she's very narrow gutted, so she moves well through the water.
Hello!
These boats are a testament to the ingenuity and durability of Victorian engineering. And I think it's brilliant that they're still in daily use on the water, paying their way.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Coming up, a rare opportunity to spot a woodland creature that's been almost wiped out in Britain.
Because you see so few, you feel that's very special, at least I do.
I'm continuing my coast-to-coast journey, and I'm in the Lake District, with its magnificent fells and crystal-clear waters. From the south of Ullswater, I've headed up a track and come just over a mile inland to a hamlet called Seldom Seen, hoping to spot a woodland creature that's, well, seldom seen these days. The red squirrel population has been almost wiped out in Britain, but thanks to careful conservation and habitat management, the Lake District is one of only a handful of places where they can still be spotted in the wild. I'm with squirrel ranger Christian Bensed, and to have any chance of making a rare sighting, we need to be very quiet.
Where should we be looking? So we've got some feeders just up on the tree here and on that tree over there. Oh, yeah, I see. So, yeah, that's where they'll hopefully appear. How many reds do you reckon there are? In this specific area, there's roughly about 20 or 30 red squirrels, which I don't know if that sounds like a lot.
It seems a tiny number.
It is a tiny number, but it is slowly increasing.
Do you reckon we might see one this morning?
Hopefully, yes. It's normally quite a good spot for red squirrels. There is a few in this area, so there's a good chance we might see one.
We wait, and eventually our hushed tones are rewarded.
Is that one there?
Yeah, well spotted, yeah. It's just moved to the top of that tree, yeah. So it's probably seen us and it's just checking out what's going on.
I think it's cleaning itself, isn't it?
Well, it's just on the move now. Hopefully it'll come down to the feeder now.
What's he got in there today?
On the menu today, he's got monkey nuts, peanuts, and sunflower seeds.
Pub food.
Pub food, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The UK's red squirrel population has fallen from 3.5 million to just 150,000.
They are considerably smaller than the greys, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They are half the size, near enough.
Grey squirrels were introduced to the UK from North America in the 19th century. Wealthy Victorians loved the novelty value they brought to their large estates, but the consequences were devastating.
What is it that the greys do that chases off the reds?
The main problem is what's called the parapox virus, or the squirrel pox. The grey squirrels carry this parapox virus, and it doesn't affect them. They can carry it, but it doesn't affect them. But if they come in contact with red squirrels, they pass on this virus, and the red squirrels die within a matter of weeks.
To boost the numbers of reds in the area, Christian sets live traps. The reds are released, while the greys are classed as vermin and destroyed humanely.
Oh, so cute.
This may seem an extreme mode of conservation, but it's the only way to save our native red squirrel from extinction.
I can see why you like them so much. The way it's eating is hysterical, isn't it?
It is, yeah. They're very funny creatures, to be honest, and although they're solitary, they will play with each other at times. You will see them chasing each other up the trees, and I never get tired of watching them, to be honest.
Because you see so few, you feel that's very special. At least I do.
It is. No, you're right. For me as well, when I'm seeing the population building, when I'm seeing them coming back, it's really satisfying.
When I was a kid, they were iconic. They were sweet, they were funny, they were brightly coloured, they were tiny, and they were common. And then all of a sudden they were on the verge of extinction. But now they're here again and their numbers are starting to increase. Just a lovely morning, really quite emotional. Let's hope they're iconic for tomorrow's children too.
I'm at my final destination on this leg of my coast-to-coast adventure. From Ullswater, I've travelled right to the boundary of the Lake District to the village of Shap. I'm here to visit the last abbey to be founded in England and the last to be dissolved by Henry VIII.
This is Shap Abbey, which was built in 1200 AD. During the Middle Ages, it was occupied by a rather obscure group of canons called the Premonstratensians, which is a mouthful, so they were commonly known as the White Abbots. It was pulled down in 1540 by Henry VIII's men. Actually, see that farmhouse over there? That was built from some of the rubble.
Shap Abbey was disbanded as part of the dissolution of the monasteries, which began after Henry VIII was made the head of the Church of England. Catholic institutions across Britain, home to more than 10,000 monks, nuns, friars and canons, were dissolved and the Crown seized their assets. Henry VIII used a lot of the money raised to fund his military campaigns. Very little remains of this once hugely significant building apart from the tower.
And I'm glad to see that English Heritage has started work stabilising the wall so that hopefully it'll still be dominating the landscape in another 1,000 years.
Next to Shap Abbey is the River Lowther, which is my finishing point for this leg of the journey.
This river marks the official end of the Lake District, so I'm bidding farewell to the fells of Borrowdale, the boats of Ullswater and the tourists of Grasmere. Not that I'm turning my back on all the beauty and gorgeousness that this journey has to offer. Ahead of me are the rolling hills of the Dales and the drama of the moors, and finally I'll be dipping my toe into Robin Hood's Bay on the east coast, if it's not too chilly.
Next time, I'm in Cumbria's Eden Valley.
Any more fares?
Where I discover the vintage buses that are connecting up the countryside.
This is a bit of a treat, isn't it?
The first footsteps of a brand new baby calf.
Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen?
And on a cliff edge, a dramatic mountain rescue.
I can hear them, I think.